Ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest, when it comes to intimacy, most people believe it's all about physical attraction, techniques, or the mechanics of what happens between four walls. But intimacy, true intimacy, runs so much deeper than that. For women especially, it is not just about touch, it is about connection. It is not just about the body, it is about the heart, the mind, the spirit. The truth is, women crave far more than what the eye can see or what the body can feel. They crave experiences that make them feel alive, desired, safe, and deeply connected to the person they are with. And sadly, many relationships miss this point. Too many men think passion is only about performance, when in reality, passion is about presence. Too many couples treat intimacy like a routine, instead of the sacred space it truly is. Every woman carries within her a longing, not just for physical release, but for emotional fulfillment, for spiritual connection, for validation of her worth. And when these cravings are met, intimacy becomes more than an act. It becomes a celebration, a sanctuary, an unspoken language that only two souls can share. So today, I want to take you on a journey into the heart of what women truly desire when the lights are low and the world fades away. We are going to uncover the 5 things all women crave in the bedroom. Not the surface-level cliches, but the deep, powerful truths that transform ordinary encounters into extraordinary connections. And as you listen, I want you to reflect not just with your mind, but with your heart. Because what we are about to explore is not simply about intimacy. It is about understanding, about connection, about love in its purest and most passionate form. When we talk about what women truly crave in the bedroom, the very first thing is not a move, not a technique, not even physical touch. It is emotional safety and connection. Without it, everything else feels incomplete. You see, for many women, intimacy begins long before the lights are dimmed and the door is closed. It begins in the way she feels seen, heard, and respected by her partner. It starts in the way she is spoken to, the way she is treated, the way her heart is held even before her body is touched. Women crave the assurance that they can be vulnerable without judgment. They want to know that if they open up their bodies, they are also opening up their souls to someone who will not take advantage of their trust. This emotional safety is not just about protection from harm. It is about creating an environment where her femininity, her desires, and her insecurities can all coexist without fear. When she feels safe, her body relaxes, her mind lets go of worries, and her heart leans fully into the experience. Think about it this way. You can have all the physical chemistry in the world, but if a woman does not feel emotionally secure with you, that chemistry will never reach its full potential. She may participate, but she will hold back. She may give, but not surrender, because surrender only comes when she knows she will not be judged, mocked, or dismissed. Emotional safety also means respecting her boundaries. Women crave a partner who listens not just to words, but to silences, to hesitations, to the subtle shift in her energy. They want to feel that their no will be honored just as much as their yes. When a woman feels her boundaries are respected, she learns to trust that her body and her choices are truly hers, and that trust deepens her ability to engage freely. Connection, on the other hand, is what transforms intimacy from a mere physical exchange into a profound emotional experience. Connection is about eye contact that lingers, about touch that speaks without words, about the unspoken understanding that she is more than just her body. She is a being with emotions, with depth, with a universe inside her. When a woman feels that connection, every moment becomes amplified. Every kiss, every whisper, every touch feels like a dialogue between souls. Women crave a partner who is present, not distracted, not rushing, not thinking about something else. Presence tells her, I am here with you fully in this moment. Nothing else matters. And when she feels that presence, her guard comes down, her heart opens, and her passion flows more naturally. Let's be honest, women live in a world that constantly demands they protect themselves, protect their hearts, protect their reputations, protect their worth. But in the bedroom, she wants freedom from that weight. She wants to know she can laugh, she can cry, she can express her deepest desires, and she will not be ridiculed for it. She wants to know that the person she is with treasures her, not just for the performance she gives, but for the essence she brings. So, what does emotional safety and connection really look like in practice? It looks like reassurance. It looks like gentle words that affirm her beauty, her strength, her uniqueness. It looks like patience when she hesitates, kindness when she feels insecure, and encouragement when she wants to try something new. It looks like making her feel like the most important person in the room, even if the world outside is demanding everything from her. That, my friends, is what sets the stage for everything else. Because without emotional safety and connection, intimacy feels like a transaction. But with it, intimacy becomes a celebration of love, of trust, of vulnerability, and of the unbreakable bond between two people. If emotional safety is the foundation, then presence and attention are the heartbeat of intimacy. When a woman steps into the bedroom, she does not simply want a physical experience. She craves a partner who is fully there, who is alive in the moment, tuned into her energy and responsive to her every subtle signal. Presence is not about just showing up physically. It's about showing up emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. It's about shutting out the noise of the outside world, the phone calls, the emails, the endless to-do lists, and saying, without words, right now, you are my priority. Right now, I am here with you. And only you. That level of focus creates a magnetic pull. It tells her she is not just another task, not just another moment, but the center of your desire. Women crave attention that feels genuine, not forced. They want to feel noticed in the smallest of ways, the way their breathing changes, the way their body shifts, the way their eyes widen when they are excited, or the way they pause when they are unsure. A present partner catches these signals and adjusts, moving slower when needed, leaning in when invited, backing off when she withdraws. This responsiveness communicates care and respect far louder than words ever could. Let's be clear, presence is a skill. It's not something you turn on and off like a switch. It comes from learning to still your mind, to quiet the inner chatter, and to focus completely on the person in front of you. When you are present, you don't just hear her. You listen. You don't just touch her. You feel. You don't just kiss her. You taste the moment as if it's the only kiss that exists. And then there's attention, which is closely tied to presence but goes one step deeper. Attention is not only about being there. It's about studying her, learning her, knowing her. It's about noticing the little things that others miss, the way she arches when she enjoys something, the places on her body that respond most, the kind of words that make her feel desired. Attention transforms intimacy into art because it tells her, I see you, I know you, I cherish you. Women crave that level of attentiveness because it validates their uniqueness. No woman wants to feel like she's experiencing something recycled, something generic, something done out of routine. She wants to feel that the way you touch her, the way you respond to her, is designed specifically for her and only her. And that only happens when you are truly present and attentive. Think about this. How many times do people go through the motions without really being there? Bodies connect, but minds wander. That is not intimacy, that is just activity. Real intimacy is when you lose track of time because every second feels alive. Real intimacy is when you can look into her eyes and communicate desire without saying a single word. Real intimacy is when your attention is so sharp that she feels like the only woman in the world, and hears the truth presence cannot be faked. A woman knows when your mind is elsewhere. She knows when you're distracted, when you're rushing, when you're not fully engaged. And nothing kills passion faster than feeling like an afterthought. But when you bring your full energy into the room, when your eyes lock with hers, when your hands move with purpose, when your breathing syncs with hers, that's when she feels the depth of your desire. Presence and attention also build trust. They show her that you're not just there to take, but to give. They show her that you care about her pleasure, her comfort, her satisfaction. They show her that you're not chasing performance, but connection. And when she feels that, her walls come down, her energy flows freely, and the experience becomes deeper than either of you imagined. So remember this: presence is power, attention is intimacy, and together they are what every woman craves, because when you are fully with her, body and soul, she doesn't just feel desired, she feels cherished. When it comes to intimacy, predictability is the silent killer. Women crave variety. They crave playfulness. They crave a partner who is willing to step outside the routine and bring new energy into the bedroom. Because the truth is, desire thrives on freshness. Passion grows when there's an element of surprise, when she doesn't quite know what's coming next, but feels excited to find out. Too many people get stuck in patterns, the same sequence, the same moves, the same rhythm every single time. And while routine may feel safe, it often strips intimacy of its spark. Women want to feel like each encounter is alive, like each moment carries something new. It doesn't mean you need to reinvent the wheel every time. It simply means keeping things dynamic, keeping things creative, keeping things fun. Playfulness is at the core of this. Women crave laughter in the bedroom. They want to feel free enough to giggle, to joke, to be silly without fear of being judged. Because intimacy isn't meant to be a stiff, mechanical performance. It's meant to be a dance between two souls. And playfulness brings lightness into that dance, a whispered joke, a sudden tickle, a playful chase across the room. All of these moments ignite joy. And joy is deeply attractive. Variety also means exploration. Women desire a partner who is curious, who is willing to try new things without shame or hesitation. Exploration might mean experimenting with different tempos, sometimes slow and sensual, sometimes wild and passionate. It might mean trying intimacy in different settings, different moods, different energies. It might mean introducing new techniques, new forms of touch, new ways of connecting. The key is not the novelty itself, but the willingness to explore together. And here's what many forget: variety doesn't just live in the physical. It lives in the emotional and mental connection, too. Women want a partner who surprises them with affection, who changes the atmosphere with a compliment whispered at the right time, who shifts the energy from serious to playful in a heartbeat. That emotional variety is just as powerful as physical experimentation, because it keeps intimacy alive in every dimension. Women crave playfulness because it frees them. It reminds them that they don't have to perform. They don't have to be perfect. They don't have to carry pressure. When a partner introduces fun, the focus shifts from getting it right to simply enjoying the ride. And when enjoyment becomes the goal, passion naturally follows. Let's also talk about spontaneity. Women want to feel surprised. They want to feel the thrill of the unexpected, the sudden kiss in the kitchen, the tender touch when they least expect it, the change of rhythm in the middle of the act. Spontaneity keeps intimacy alive because it reminds her that passion isn't confined to routine. It's something living, breathing, ever-changing. But here's the balance. Variety must always be paired with attentiveness. It's not about throwing random changes into the mix. It's about paying attention to what excites her, what makes her body respond, what lights up her spirit. Then, with presence, you add new flavors, new textures, new experiences that deepen her pleasure without overwhelming her. Playfulness and variety also build trust. They show her that you're not stuck, that you're open, that you're adventurous enough to grow together. And that growth makes her feel excited about the future because she knows that with you, intimacy will never go stale, never become a burden, never turn into something lifeless. Instead, it will always be evolving, always playful, always alive. So understand this. Women don't just crave routine intimacy. They crave intimacy that surprises, delights, and excites them. They crave laughter in the middle of passion, adventure in the middle of safety, curiosity in the middle of comfort. And when you bring variety and playfulness into the bedroom, you're not just satisfying her body, you're awakening her spirit. When it comes to intimacy, communication is everything. And I don't just mean talking about what movie to watch or what meal to cook. I mean the kind of communication that makes a woman feel seen, wanted, and deeply understood in the most vulnerable moments. Women crave both verbal and non-verbal communication in the bedroom, because together they form the language of desire. Let's start with verbal communication. Many women want to hear words that affirm their beauty, their sensuality, and their impact. They crave compliments that are genuine, not rehearsed. A simple "you are so beautiful right now" can ignite her confidence. A soft "I love the way you feel" can make her body relax. Words don't just flatter, they validate. They remind her that she is desired, not just tolerated. They tell her that in this moment she is cherished beyond measure. Verbal communication also means guidance. Women crave a partner who can express what they want without shame, and who also invites her to express her desires without judgment. Phrases like "I love when you" or "do you like this" open doors. They create a safe space where feedback is not seen as criticism, but as collaboration. And when both partners talk openly, the connection deepens because intimacy becomes a shared experience rather than a one-sided performance. But let's be clear, verbal communication is not only about passion-filled whispers, it's also about tone. The way you say something matters just as much as what you say. A gentle, reassuring tone can calm her insecurities. A playful tone can spark laughter in the middle of intimacy. A passionate, firm tone can ignite her fire. Women crave a partner who knows how to use words to set the mood, to build anticipation, to heighten pleasure. Now let's talk about non-verbal communication, the silent language that often speaks louder than words. Women crave body language that shows attention, lingering eye contact, gentle touches that explore rather than rush, subtle movements that respond to her rhythm. A look held a little longer than usual can say, "I want you," more powerfully than a sentence. A slow caress on her back can communicate tenderness without a single word spoken. Nonverbal communication also includes listening with the senses. Women crave a partner who notices their breathing, their sighs, their subtle shifts. These signals tell a story: when she's comfortable, when she's excited, when she's uncertain. A truly attentive partner listens not just with their ears, but with their whole body, reading the cues, adjusting the pace, and moving in harmony with her energy. Here's what many don't realize: communication builds confidence. When a woman feels that her partner is tuned into her, verbally and non-verbally, she feels empowered to express herself more freely. She feels safe to say what she wants, to explore her fantasies, to let go of inhibitions. Because she knows she won't be mocked or ignored. She'll be heard, respected, and valued. Verbal and nonverbal communication together create rhythm. Imagine intimacy without it. It becomes mechanical, disconnected, and shallow. But when you combine words with touch, eye contact with whispers, guidance with responsiveness. You create a flow that feels natural, alive, and endlessly fulfilling. And let's not forget, women also crave communication outside the bedroom that influences what happens inside it. A tender message during the day, a compliment out of nowhere, a kiss on the forehead, all these gestures set the tone long before intimacy begins. They tell her that desire doesn't start at the door of the bedroom. It starts with consistent communication that makes her feel wanted all the time. So here's the truth. Communication is not optional, it is essential. Women crave a partner who can use their voice and their silence, their words and their touch, their eyes and their body to say the most powerful message of all. I desire you, I honor you, and I am here with you completely. If there's one thing that separates a forgettable intimate experience from an unforgettable one, it is patience. Women crave patience in the bedroom because patience communicates desire, respect, and control all at once. It says, I'm not here to rush. I'm here to savor every second with you. Too often, intimacy is treated like a race to the finish line. Rushed, mechanical, predictable. But here's the truth, women don't want the finish line to arrive too soon. They want to enjoy the journey, to taste every step of the build up, to feel the anticipation swell until it overflows. That's why patience is so powerful. It transforms the experience into a slow, delicious unfolding instead of a quick routine. Patience shows her that you're not just chasing your own satisfaction, you're honoring hers. It tells her you're willing to linger, to explore, to discover what truly makes her feel alive. Women crave a partner who takes their time, who pays attention to detail, who doesn't skip over the magic of build-up. Because in that build-up lies half the pleasure, and then there's anticipation. Anticipation is the art of creating desire before the moment even begins. It's the teasing look across the room, the brush of fingers when you walk past her, the whispered words that promise something more later. Women crave that spark, that delicious tension that grows when you hold back just enough to make her want more. Think about it, anticipation is what makes a kiss linger in her memory for days. It's what makes her body tingle before you've even touched her. It's what makes her heart race when you lean in slowly instead of rushing. Anticipation is the electricity in the air that keeps her wondering, keeps her engaged, keeps her craving. Patience also means knowing how to slow down. Women crave a rhythm that isn't forced, a pace that isn't dictated by urgency. They want the freedom to melt into the moment without feeling pressured to perform. They want to feel that they can take their time to respond, to breathe, to surrender, without fear of being rushed. And when you give her that space, she opens up in ways she never would if she felt hurried. Anticipation is also about mental foreplay. Women love the build-up that happens before the bedroom, flirtatious texts, subtle compliments, a lingering kiss at the door. These small acts plant seeds of excitement that bloom later. They remind her that intimacy is not just a physical act, but a journey that begins long before the clothes come off. But let's be honest, patience is not easy. In a world where everything is instant fast food, instant messaging, one-click shopping, we've grown used to speed. But intimacy is one of the few places where slowness is golden. Women crave a partner who knows how to pause, how to hold, how to let silence breathe in the middle of passion. Those pauses are not empty. They are charged with meaning, with connection, with raw electricity. And here's the magic. Patience and anticipation together magnify everything. A slow touch becomes unforgettable. A kiss delayed by seconds feels explosive. A whisper held back until the perfect moment lands like fire in her heart. When you blend patience with anticipation, you don't just create pleasure. You create longing, excitement, and deep emotional fulfillment. Women crave this because it makes intimacy more than just physical release. It becomes art. It becomes a dance of tension and release, of build-up and surrender, of silence and explosion. And once she experiences intimacy wrapped in patience and anticipation, she will never settle for rushed, empty encounters again. So remember this: don't hurry, don't rush. Don't rob her of the joy that comes with waiting. Let her feel the delicious ache of desire growing slowly. Let her crave you more with every second you hold back. Because when patience and anticipation lead the way, passion doesn't just happen. It ignites, it burns, and it lingers long after the moment is over. For many women, intimacy does not begin at the first touch, nor does it end when the act is over. Women crave affection beyond the act, the small, tender moments that surround passion, and make them feel valued not only as lovers, but as whole beings. Because true intimacy is not just about what happens in the heat of the moment. It's about the tenderness that frames it. Think about this. The bedroom is not just a physical space. It is an emotional sanctuary, and in that sanctuary, affection becomes the softest yet strongest glue. Women crave those little gestures that say, "I still want you. I still cherish you, even now, even after." A hand brushing through her hair, a kiss on the forehead, an arm wrapped around her waist as you both lie in silence. These are not minor details. They are the difference between feeling used and feeling loved. Affection beyond the act is powerful because it extends intimacy into the realm of trust. Women want to feel that they are not only desired in moments of passion, but also adored in moments of quiet. They crave connection that stretches beyond physical pleasure into emotional nourishment. When a partner lingers, when they cuddle, when they continue to touch softly, it tells her, "You are more than a body to me. You are my partner, my companion, my treasure." And here's the truth: what happens after is often just as important as what happens during. Many women confess that what lingers in their memory is not always the intensity of the act itself, but the way they felt immediately after. Did he turn away? Did he rush to get up? Did he distance himself? Or did he stay close, hold her, whisper words of love? That moment defines whether she feels connected or disconnected, cherished or dismissed. Affection also means non-sexual touch. Women crave touch that is not always about leading somewhere, but about simply being present. Stroking her back, holding her hand, pressing a soft kiss on her shoulder. These gestures communicate affection in its purest form. They reassure her that your desire is not transactional, that it's not about taking but about giving, not about performance but about presence. And here's something that often gets overlooked. Affection before intimacy is just as important. Women crave the small acts of love that happen throughout the day. A gentle squeeze of the hand in public, an unexpected compliment, a text that says "thinking of you." These simple gestures prime her heart and soul long before the bedroom, making her feel desired in ways that physical intimacy alone could never accomplish. Affection beyond the act also builds consistency. It tells her that intimacy is not limited to rare moments. It is woven into the fabric of the relationship. It shows her that passion and tenderness can coexist, that desire and love are not separate but deeply intertwined, and that combination, being wanted and being loved, is what every woman truly craves. Affection has the power to heal insecurities, to heal doubts, to heal the silent fears every woman carries. When a partner consistently shows tenderness before, during, and after intimacy, it reassures her that she is safe, that she is enough, that she is deeply valued. That reassurance is not just physical, it is emotional, spiritual, and unforgettable. So understand this: for women, intimacy does not start when the lights go out. and it does not end when it's over. It begins with affection, and it ends with affection. The touches, the words, the cuddles, the laughter. These are the moments that last. Women crave to know that they are loved in their softness, in their vulnerability, in their quiet moments. Because affection beyond the act is not an extra. It is the essence of intimacy itself. At the deepest level, what women crave in the bedroom is not just physical pleasure. It is the validation of their feminine energy. They want to feel that their essence, their presence, their sensuality, and their uniqueness as women are seen, honored, and celebrated. Because intimacy is not simply about bodies connecting, it's about energies intertwining, and for many women, their feminine energy is the core of who they are. Feminine energy is powerful. It is soft yet strong, gentle yet magnetic, nurturing yet passionate. It thrives when it is cherished, but it withers when it is ignored or dismissed. Women crave a partner who recognizes this energy not as something fragile, but as something sacred. When her partner validates her feminine energy, she feels free to express her sensuality without shame, to let her desires flow without fear, to surrender without holding back. Validation comes in many forms. It comes through words telling her she is beautiful, desirable, radiant. Not just when she is dressed up, not just when the moment is perfect, but in her natural state, in her authenticity, in her vulnerability. Women crave to be reminded that they are enough exactly as they are, that their beauty is not only in appearance but in presence. Validation also comes through action. It is in the way you slow down to appreciate her body, the way you take your time to explore her curves, the way you let her know that her pleasure matters as much as your own. It is in the way you respond to her emotions with patience instead of frustration, with curiosity instead of dismissal. Women crave this because it tells them their energy is not a burden, it is a gift. But perhaps most importantly, validation of feminine energy comes through acceptance. Women want to feel that all parts of them, the soft, the wild, the vulnerable, the bold, are welcome. They crave a partner who doesn't try to change them or silence them, but who embraces their full spectrum. When a woman feels her energy is accepted, she blooms. She radiates confidence, passion, and joy. This validation also means making her feel that her presence itself is enough. Women want to know that they don't need to perform or prove themselves in the bedroom to earn affection. They crave a partner who delights in their natural rhythm, their natural beauty, their natural expression of intimacy. Because when she feels validated in her essence, she can give more freely, more deeply, more passionately. Let's not forget validation of feminine energy also extends beyond the physical act. It's the way you treat her outside the bedroom. Do you celebrate her dreams? Do you listen when she speaks? Do you encourage her to shine in her uniqueness? Women crave to feel desired not only for what they can give in intimacy, but for who they are as women. And when that validation is consistent, it deepens her trust, her openness, her passion. When a woman feels her feminine energy is validated, she feels safe to embrace her vulnerability. She feels safe to let go of control, to surrender into pleasure, to allow herself to be guided by the rhythm of connection. And in that surrender lies the deepest intimacy possible. So hear this clearly. Women don't just crave touch. They don't just crave words. They don't just crave affection. They crave the validation of their essence, the acknowledgement that their femininity is not only accepted but celebrated, that they are not just bodies to be desired but beings to be honored, that their energy in its fullness is seen as sacred. When you validate a woman's feminine energy, you give her permission to shine, to open, to flow. And when she feels that, intimacy transforms. It becomes not just a physical act, not just an emotional connection, but a spiritual experience that elevates both of you to a higher level of love and desire. And so, when we strip away the myths, the assumptions, and the noise surrounding intimacy, what remains is this simple truth: women do not crave complexity, they crave authenticity. They crave emotional safety that allows them to let go of their guard. They crave presence and attention that remind them they are the only one in the room. They crave variety and playfulness that keep the fire alive. They crave communication, both spoken and unspoken, that makes them feel understood. They crave patience and anticipation that turn every moment into a slow, beautiful build-up. They crave affection beyond the act, the tender gestures that prove intimacy doesn't start and stop on command. And above all, they crave validation of their feminine energy, the reassurance that their essence, their soul, their very being is seen and celebrated. When these cravings are honored, intimacy stops being ordinary. It becomes something unforgettable. It becomes more than bodies. It becomes trust more than touch. It becomes connection more than passion. It becomes a sacred bond that grows deeper with time. And here's the beauty of it all. None of these things cost money. None of them require perfection. None of them demand grand performances. They require something far greater. They require intention. The intention to listen. The intention to notice. The intention to slow down, to explore, to hold, to cherish. That intention is what transforms intimacy into a language of love that never grows old. Because at the end of the day, women are not asking for too much. They are asking for what every human being desires at the deepest level: to be seen, to be loved, to be honored, and to be embraced without condition. And when that happens in the bedroom, it echoes far beyond the bedroom. It builds stronger relationships, deeper trust, lasting passion. It creates a connection that can withstand the storms of life, because it is rooted in something far greater than just physical attraction. It is rooted in understanding. So let this be the reminder: intimacy is not a race, not a routine, not a performance. It is a gift. And when you honor what women truly crave, you don't just touch their bodies, you touch their hearts, their souls, their entire being. And that is where the magic of love truly lies.